Hey guys, welcome back to the Dodger Down Low.
And now it's time for Dodger.
So as far as being a Dodger fan, this offseason has been one of the most infuriating and frustrating off seasons in a long time. It started with the Houston Astros scandal, lack of punishment and the accountability. You have Verlander joking it off at an MVP award ceremony, actually laughing right next to the MVP. Then following with the mixed signals from Andrew Friedman talking about that, we finally are in a position where our major league roster is, damn near perfect. We have tons of prospect capital and finally the financial flexibility that we've sought after for the past few years. Yet where's the moves? Where's it at? All offseason, the download's been about Garrett Cole, Rendon, Mookie Betts, Lindor, Clevenger, Arenado, fucking Bumgarner. Somebody thought he would look good in the Dodger blue uniform. I don't know who it was. Sure wasn't me, But it's just, been back to Lindor. And now the talk is back to Betts. Now there's reports that the Red Sox are finally serious about possibly dealing Betts, and that the Padres and the Dodgers are the most interested at this point. It's frustrating because the Dodgers are a top 5 farm system in all of baseball, and they're also a top payroll in baseball with plenty of money to be able to spend at this point. Yet, we still haven't made a move of meaningful impact, as Andrew Friedman quoted. Like, we're hoarding all these prospects as if, we could play more than 9 on the field at once. Frustrating for me because we continue to strike out on top-tier talent and players that can possibly make an impact to our major league roster at this point. We don't necessarily need something in a specific piece to be able to put us over the top to win the NL West pennant, but we can make a big play or make an impact on our major league roster in a big way when it comes to a playoff player. There's a complete difference when you look at like the Michael Jordans of the NBA or the Kobes of the NBA, or the Tiger Woods of golf. Those guys that just have the killer instinct when it comes time, when the lights are the brightest, they show up to play the most. Let's stop stroking the fans. Let's put Mookie Betts in a Dodger blue uniform. Let's put Nolan Arenado in a Dodger blue uniform. Let's face it, all of them would be game changers in the playoffs. We don't necessarily need them now, to be able to win the NL West pennant. We've proven that. But they are game changers when it comes to the playoffs. The case for Mookie is pretty straightforward. Who wouldn't want a former MVP and World Series champion impacting the top of their lineup and playing Gold Glove defense in right field? But there's a reason why Boston is willing to part ways with him now at this point. He's a free agent after the offseason. So any team willing to part with those top prospects also has 1 year to impress him, then pay him at the end of the year this ridiculous contract that he's going to command. Otherwise, offer him a qualifying offer, he signs elsewhere, you get that team's draft pick. That's a lot of risk for possibly no reward for a 1 year rental, even as much of a superstar as he is. So for me, it's never really been much of an idea that I've liked. I've never liked the idea of trading top prospects for a 1 year rental, even if it is a superstar. So for me, if we're going to cash in on top prospect capital, my beer goes to Nolan Arenado on one condition: he has to waive his opt-out clause. If the Dodgers were to, let's say, tack on 1 extra year onto the end of his contract, the year he just played with the Rockies, tack that year on. Now he's signed basically his same 8-year original $260 million contract, but now he's playing the next 7 to 8 years running through his age 37 season in a Dodger blue uniform in front of his hometown crowd. This immediately makes our team the most scariest team in baseball, immediately makes our lineup the hardest to get through. And imagine having him planted at third and in third hole in our lineup for the next 7 to 8 years. Imagine adding 41 home runs, 118 ribbies in front of the MVP. Imagine having a nightly platinum glove winner, crazy plays every night at the hot corner for the next 7 to 8 years in front of his hometown crowd. Imagine Arenado in the playoffs. But this time he's in a Dodger blue uniform. But imagine that. We'd have that for the next 7 to 8 years at an under market value. In my opinion, that's the move to make. Kyber Ruiz, Tony Smotes, as much as I like Tony Gonsolin, Kyber Ruiz, Tony Smotes, Cody Hosier, a former first-round draft pick from last year, he was supposed to be the guy to replace JT at the hot corner in the coming years. We don't need him. We got Nolan Arenado at that point. Dennis Santana, toss him in there too. You got a former prospect in him. He just has been dealing with the injury bug the past year and a half or so. You know, Ruiz is blocked by Will Smith. Tony Gonsolin flashed front of the rotation stuff last year, and I like the guy. Like the cat, cat thing to him. Cool guy, cool cat. You know, and like I said, Cody Hosey, he would be blocked by Nolan Arenado, so it wouldn't really matter anyways. So he's the guy you cash in on. That's prospect depth. That's capital. That's stuff we don't need because you'd have Arenado locked for the next 7 to 8 years. So what do you guys think? I mean, do we make the move to cash in on a 1-year superstar rental? Or do we take some of those prospects that we don't need because they're depth pieces at this point? We can't play them all. We cash them in on somebody like Nolan Arenado, who's already signed to a 7 to 8 year deal at an under market value price, you know, and he'd be able to play great ball, platinum glove defense, crazy plays every night, smack 40 plus home runs, and finally get to the playoffs and hopefully put us over the top, but in a Dodger blue uniform. What do you guys think, guys? Comment below. Let me know. Is it Mookie or is it Nolan Arenado? And if you guys like what you hear, give me a follow, man. I'd appreciate it. Support me. Follow me on Instagram at the Dodger Down Low. And like I said, subscribe below at the Dodger Down Low on YouTube. Until next time, guys, see you on the Down Low.